Learning isn't fun, at least not at first. But from a young age, we tell kids it's supposed to be fun. They sit down to study and it feels boring, sometimes hard, and really uncomfortable. Suddenly they're confused. They wonder, wasn't this supposed to be fun? Welcome to day 4 of the SHSAT challenge, where I inform parents about how they can help their child build a healthy relationship with learning. As an educator, we want our students to enjoy learning, so it's stressful but understandable when they tell us that they don't. But I want to try to shift your perspective, that it's actually normal and just a necessary part of learning. When your child's brain first learns a new complex concept or skill, like in math, it requires immense cognitive effort. Numbers need to connect to words, which connect to symbols, and logic has to be applied throughout the whole system. Learning is hard, but it's fulfilling, even though the initial learning process is difficult. First, validate and help them reframe their frustration. When they say, "This isn't fun," don't argue or convince them that it should be. Just agree with them. Say something like, "I know and I totally agree with you, and that feeling is just your brain working hard to get stronger and smarter. It's actually a good sign that you're challenging yourself. You should be really proud of that feeling." Second, praise the process, not just the score or the outcome. When you check in, instead of asking, "Did you get all the problems correct?" ask, "Which problems did you struggle with today?" Or, "Show me something that you tried that was tricky." This celebrates their effort, which they can control, instead of a perfect score, which can feel out of reach and demoralizing, especially when you're beginning to learn something new and challenging. By doing this, you're allowing your child to become comfortable with these emotions and allow them to acknowledge the struggles as a natural part of learning, and that the real reward, that moment when it finally clicks, is on the other side. That's when it starts to get fun. It's building brand new neural pathways from scratch. It's supposed to feel like a struggle. The feeling of fun and flow doesn't come from the struggle, it comes from mastery, which only happens after the initial hard work is done. Fun in learning doesn't usually happen during the initial learning process. They show up later, sometimes much later than you expected. I always say that you have to know the rules before you play the game. That being said, the rules are not always fun to learn and understand, but they're necessary to play and eventually enjoy the game. Once you've built enough foundational skills and understand the rules, you start to experience that fun. It's in that process of building mastery, and you start getting good at the game. That's when the fun begins. Math really is the best tool we have to understand what learning actually feels like, what it should feel like, because everyone has mastered something in math. Be it arithmetic or even just the concept of counting, you just need to start where you are and slowly build mastery. This is exactly what we do at A.C.K. Academy. We figure out exactly where you are, fill in the gaps you may not even know have existed, and then guide you through this mastery-based learning process. Math is just the tool we use to help you get comfortable with this process. Once you experience that in math, you can apply it to anything. At A.C.K. Academy, we're teaching you that feeling of what learning is really like. Now, if you want to prepare your child for the SHSAT or just see their math readiness, comment math down below and I'll DM you a free PDF guide. It breaks down what skills they need based on their grade level, so you have an understanding of where they are and where they're going. Follow me if you enjoy this content, and I'll see you tomorrow for day 5.